In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is this child who has been born King of the Jews?" We don't know how many Magi there are. We don't know from what country they come from. We don't know what race they are or what color they are. We don't know what gender they are. We know that there's more than one, and that they come from the east, and that they observed a star. The King James Bible gave us the word wise men for Magi, and we've been stuck with that image ever since. 3 is the number that we like to think. I don't know why we like to think 3, other than things are good when they come in 3s, like the Creator, the Sustainer, and the Redeemer. 3s are nice for stories. They look nice in nativity scenes, and as we know, and anybody that was with us last week when we were on Zoom, we know that I have a particular love of nativity scenes and how we paint and how we depict and how we sculpt and how we artists show these scriptural stories. But we don't know really anything about these Magi other than that they are astronomers, that they can read the stars in the sky. And we know that they came and they followed, and they arrived to meet this newborn baby. You know what else we don't know about these Magi from this Gospel of Matthew? And Matthew, you all know, is the only Gospel in which the story of the Magi is recounted. That this story doesn't exist in Mark or Luke or in John. It exists nowhere else in Scripture except right here in Matthew. Notice that Matthew also doesn't have any camels. There are no camels that the Magi arrive on. We have supplemented camels into the story. This is Gary. Many of you know Gary. He's usually in the sanctuary, but he journeyed over here for this Epiphany Day. And his name is Gary because one of our children gave him that name at the 5 o'clock Christmas Eve service 6 years ago. He's been Gary ever since, and the staff takes great delight in bringing Gary out every year. You'll also notice that Gary has a scarf, and that scarf is, it predates me, but that scarf is hiding a multitude of wounds that Gary's neck incurred due to some packing errors by my predecessors at some point along the lines. So Gary has a scarf. Gary's had a long journey. Had I been in better headspace when I left my home this morning, I was also going to bring many more camels with me, but they are still at home. They don't have names, so we'll need to work on that some other time, this table here. But there are no camels mentioned in the Gospel of Matthew, but yet they're so essential to our nativity scenes. It's likely that they might have come on camels. They might have come on many camels. They probably came on elephants too. Last week, many of you heard that when we were on Zoom, I was in Mexico, and one of my great delights about traveling in Latin America at Christmas time are the nativity scenes that you can find throughout everywhere. And how these nativity scenes are often a mismatch of creatures and local customs and figures that don't quite go with each other. We take a lot of pride here at West End and in New York City to make sure that our nativity pieces match. This is not the case in Mexico City or in many other places of the world. All are welcome and they mean it. Scale, size, color doesn't matter. There were many, many camels. There were also elephants. And I enjoyed elephants because I thought elephants were probably a likely mode of transportation for these Magi coming from the east. But it is the prophet Isaiah that gives us these camels. These camels that are in the prophecy that Derek read for us this morning, where we hear these lines. Arise and shine, for your light has come, and a multitude of camels shall cover you. The young camels of Midian and Ephah, all those from Sheba shall come. The camels shall bring gold and frankincense and shall proclaim the praise of the Lord. This is what Matthew has in mind when he tells us about these Magi from the east coming with gold and frankincense and myrrh. These are the camels the nativity scene makers hearken. Arise and shine, for a multitude of camels is going to cover you. It's smelly, and maybe you're allergic, but this is like a modern day equivalent of a multitude of Amazon boxes are going to cover you. A multitude of U-Hauls shall come from all over the country to bring you Christmas presents of gold and frankincense and myrrh, heralding your death as well as the joy of this day. And the camels will cover you. You will be so covered in gifts, says prophecy, that you will arise and shine, for your light has come. A great, great gift has come to the world. And the Magi from the east have come to discover it too, to pay homage and to bring gifts. And many of you have just given gifts and maybe received gifts. Maybe you've had a joyful holiday season. Or maybe it's been more difficult. Maybe there are gifts you're still hoping will come. Gifts of good health, or of good news, or of a new job. Gifts of whatever resolutions you might have made 7 days ago that are now becoming distant memories, but are still possible. Gifts of hope. Gifts of peace for our world. Gifts of love. And gifts of abundance for these multitude of camels. And here at West End Church, one of these gifts of abundance is the newness of this year and the new partnerships and the new tenants that we will soon have living among us. They are not camels, but we are about to be covered in a multitude of other people of faith, people of other faiths. You have heard some news. I'm going to tell you a little bit more, and in the coming weeks, you're going to hear more, and you're going to hear directly from Margaret Tobin, who has been our chair of our real estate task force, who wants to talk to you in her own words, which I think is right. Today, you're going to hear from me just a little bit. That we have signed one lease and are about to sign another lease with two faith-based organizations here on the Upper West Side to come share our space with us for the next 3 years. These are organizations that kids are in your kids' schools, that are part of our scout troops, that are in and out of this building already, that know us, and that come to us at this moment where we need to revitalize this building and have an opportunity to do so. The first group is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons down the street on 65th Street and Broadway, the big temple across from Lincoln Center that many of you know, is about to undergo renovation. It will be under construction for about 3 to 5 years. 3 years is the hope, 5 years is the long shot. You know New York real estate. They're coming while their temple undergoes construction. They will be homeless, and we are living into our Christian values of hospitality and welcoming the stranger in. We are very excited about this new partnership, about these tenants who bring us much needed income at this moment, and also a lot of livelihood. There are 3 congregations that worship in that building. They're all coming here. There are about 150 students and young people in their children's programming. They're all coming here. We're going to be walking into this building and discovering elements of faith that they haven't seen before because they've been in their temple. Just like if we were to move somewhere else, we would be exposed to another person's faith. So, the oldest continually worshiping Protestant church in the nation is about to become roommates with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, good things come in threes. I've already told you that today. So we need a third partner here. The third partner, this lease is not yet signed, but soon will be signed, is a temple from up the street, a Ramamu synagogue. If any of you know them, they were on 104th Street previously. They've just sold their building, and they are coming to spend 3 years with us during a period of discernment for that congregation about whether or not they need a building, what their ministry looks like, and how their congregation is growing and flourishing. This is a very exciting synagogue to me personally. They are a part of a revivalist movement in American Judaism that really tries to espouse Jewish values, Jewish tradition, and Jewish practice into modern ways of living. They're a vibrant congregation. They're young, they're old, they're of all nationalities and colors. They are a fabulous people, and their rabbi is a colleague that I respect a great deal. They will soon be arriving as well. Soon, by Easter that is, there will be all 3 of us living in this one house together. Some Protestants, some Mormons, and some Jews walk into a church building. It's going to be funny. It's going to be really, really hard and really exciting. The staff right now is working around the clock preparing the school building, which will be dedicated space to our Mormon friends. This building, which will become more highly occupied at all times, and our sanctuary, which we will be sharing among the three groups. This is an exciting moment for what faith can look like in New York going forward. Every time you open the newspaper and read about churches or faith-based organizations, you read about the decline of American Protestantism and churches being forced to make untoward financial decisions about their buildings or their congregations or their ministries. That's not our story, friends. Our story is one of abundance. It is the story of the gospel's promise to welcome the stranger in, and they will bring gifts, like the strangers from the East brought gifts many, many years ago. Welcome the stranger. For what wonders might they bring? What joys and challenges and opportunities might they bring? What gifts might we all share? And how might we link arms together? Our new Mormon friends are already partners in so many ways. Those of you who have participated in the Thanksgiving Packathon may know some of them already. They've been a long-term partner there. They partnered with us this year and provided some much-needed money for our own Thanksgiving meal, for our Tuesday table, for our Christmas meal, and for those gifts we chaotically packed a month ago in this room for the Christmas guests as well. This is an exciting moment for us at West End. We haven't had the building full of children since the collegiate school moved out. This building was always designed to be echoed with the sounds of children running up and down marble stairs and yelling in corridors and being told to be quiet in the sanctuary. That's what our forebears designed this as. Again, it will be like that. And again, there will be adults everywhere and children everywhere and us in the midst of it all as well. This is such an exciting moment for us to meet new people in our neighborhood, to link arms for ministry that truly begins to go outside of these walls in an even more intentional interfaith moment. This is an exciting moment for American Protestantism across the nation. The model that we are about to develop is one that should be shared. Margaret's going to talk more about how that all happens, not just the theology and the ideas of it that I've talked about. Margaret's going to talk about that in the coming weeks. You're going to get things in your inbox. You're going to hear more in church. And we'll keep talking. Today, I wanted to share this news with you as we think of a multitude of camels coming to cover us, and a multitude of tenants and New Yorkers and children and young people that are about to start walking through our doors and see faith differently. All of us are about to be visited by people we call strangers today, and who I hope we will call friends soon enough. And we will share our gifts, and we will share our resources, and together we will marvel anew at what God is doing. Arise and shine, says the prophet, for your light has come.